and if it makes a difference.
Okay, so so I've got my twists and turns in my hand. Jane is not knitting her twists and turns. She's not knitting it. But let's just have a little go round, and Sue, you had a question. No, not everybody's knitting it, but it's a fun thing to discuss. Who is knitting? I know Belinda is, I know Sue is, I know I am. Lynn, are you knitting it? Yes, okay, awesome. Leah, you're not.
I'll wait until the next comes out
and decide whether it's worth it. That's a really good call.
At this point, it's like, it's not really speaking to me.
No,
so we'll see.
Can completely understand that. Completely understand that.
Yeah, I can too, and I see all the worms.
Yeah.
No more shrimps than our worms.
Although it looks really cool, I must say.
When they braid it up, it does
get it going. Yeah, it does look really cool.
I've also got a lot of other projects on it at the moment, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. I can understand that. So before we have a show and tell, you had a question, Sue?
I'm just going so slowly because I'm so anxious that I might misread the pattern. And I was just saying, all these, the left and the right.
Yeah.
Make one left and right. Do you think if I did the wrong way around, it would make?
Not going to make any difference. No. So how I remember what the technique is that if it's a make one right, you put your needle in from the rear. So from the back of the knitting is when it's supposed to be a make one right. But whether you make one left or make one right doesn't make any difference. The other way I remember that is if the increase is before a stitch marker, it's a right. And if it's after the marker, it's a left. It's left till after the marker.
Okay.
Or it's right before. So if you're approaching a marker and you need to do an increase, then it's a right. And it's from the rear, so you put your needle in from the back. And if it's after a marker, then you've left it till after the marker, and then it's just lift it from the front. And then what I've been doing to manage the increases is because there's only a guide to how many stitches you should have at the end of every 10 rows, I've been checking at the end of 10 rows. And like this morning I counted, and then I just put little stitch markers in because I was 3 stitches short. And so the next row that I did, I just increased, I knit into the front and back of a stitch to increase to get my stitch count right. And no one will ever know. And the other way that I've been checking whether my stitch count is correct is on these sections when you're in the chevron. I just count as I'm knitting towards the increase or towards the purl stitch. I count that they're the same number of stitches on each side. So if I'm knitting towards the purl, then I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got 12, and then on the other side there should be 12. And so at the end of a row, you can double check that, and then use a stitch marker to make a note of where you're missing a stitch and increase 1 or knit 2 together if you've got too many or too few. But it's really not, it's a forgiving detail. Yeah. Does that help at all?
You can see the shoulders sagging and like going down 5 centimeters in the fact.
So that does that make you feel a bit more comfortable, Sue?
I'm just trying to work out some way of speeding up the process, because I just feel it's like, there
isn't one. There isn't one. And I am so on Sunday, I was cursing and swearing. I really was not enjoying it. But by Sunday evening, I sat down, I was doing some knitting, and on Monday I was knitting. I was like, oh, okay, this is just another Ka-dunk. Just gotta keep going through it. There isn't a way to speed it up. It's just a really slow, it's the most stitches he's ever put in a clue, plus it's a really slow way of knitting them. So yeah, don't.
You guys are really making me want to reconsider doing this damn shawl, eh?
Well, exactly. I think you should think quite hard before you do decide to do it.
I think I'll explain.
what I'm really thinking is I wish I was doing the foxtrot.
But then if that is how you feel, then just rip it and do the foxtrot instead.
Life's
not-
too
and
short to knit what you don't want.
And also choosing colors outside my comfort zone. I'm thinking all this effort into colors.
Don't even like them. Yeah, but
It's the
Sue,
journey, guys, not the destination.
exactly. And if you're not enjoying the journey and you don't like the idea of the destination, then turn around and go somewhere else. Yeah, it's not. It's not worth it. And Eliza, who was my source of info on the Ravelry group and things, said that there were all these posts of people who'd frogged and yeah. So, you know, if you don't want to knit it, just dump it and switch to something else.
I'll show you how far I've got.
Well, I mean, you're doing well. It's very slow, but it looks great.
The colors are lovely, Sue.
So we can see. Okay, now everyone's going to have a very good look soon, see if they can find any of your mistakes. I'm joking.
No.
We won't be able to see anything. The colors look beautiful.
That's awesome.
The colors are lovely, Sue.
What's your third color?
All right. Is it
Carrot.
Yeah, I think it's carrot juice.
Yeah.
That'll really pop.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's interesting, the colors. I'm drawing my eye to the painting behind you.
Yes.
The different shades of green.
I think that's the Midlands somewhere.
Okay, beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that it's looking good and that you don't need to stress about it. It does just take time. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not worried about the time. It'll just
Good.
take time.
It will just take time. So don't let that bother you. No. Hi, Ananda. Sorry, you arrived when we were in the middle of the discussion about.
It's quite all right. You are all forgiven. I still love you. Not a
Good.
problem.
Good.
Oh, we love you too.
Thank you. But I want to see how far is Belinda and Bridget and Lynn. Are you also MKALing?
It's also twisting and turning.
I am. I'm just muting a bit because there's some renovations going on here and it can be heard over the air. So if you need me
Okay.
to speak, just wave.
So how far
Can
are
I
you?
spotlight so we can see you, Lynn?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, come.
Okay. I only started on Saturday,
Oh my
but
word.
that's how
Oh,
far
I
I
love
am.
your colors.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it looks great.
And that is the aubergine and
Yeah.
the orchid blush.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
What's your third color?
It's
Good question.
a turquoise with a little bit of the purple fleck.
Oh, very nice.
Mm.
Could be
So
done.
when that comes in, it'll be interesting. I just hope I've got enough yarn.
Yeah.
And
sure.
how I remembered the left and right was I saw something on, I think it was Facebook. It said how to remember it is be right back, just left front door open.
Mm.
If that helps.
Ah, that's very clever.
So before I was also checking the pattern for every row and everywhere to see where I was and counting. And then I got into that when I get there, you know, be right back, left front door open sort of thing. And it's helped.
Very cute. Very nice.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, so much of it is about finding your groove. with
It
it.
is.
And I was getting really frustrated because I couldn't see what to do next without referring to the pattern, but then I just made peace with the pattern, and now actually it's coming more easily, and I know where I am more easily, and yeah, and it just is a lot of knitting. That's just how it is.
You guys have got this. I believe in you.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
how far is Belinda?
I don't know.
Me,
Belinda, I'm gonna show her.
okay.
Belinda's going strong. She's going
Yeah,
very
yeah.
strong.
Belinda's going like a Boeing.
Oh, well, I must
Oh,
say.
wow.
There we go.
Ah, gorgeous.
So halfway,
There
Very
you go.
will
Lovely
not make
colours.
tomorrow's deadline.
But
But
that's
I'm
Is
not
that
stressing.
halfway?
I'm saying yes.
and not
Not
stressed.
getting stressed.
Lovely.
Say yes.
Well done.
And Belinda, your
Loving the
third colour?
colors. Oh my word. And wondering what part of the shawl is this. So I think he's kind of messing with us the way
Oh.
he's unpacking it.
I
And
also
he's
do.
going to surprise us with how the pieces unfold the sequence. I think that's quite exciting too. That the process isn't, oh, we're starting at the neck and you're going out. So I think he's playing with that and playing with us, which is fun.
Yeah. Nice. And you're enjoying the process?
Yeah, I am. It's slow. It's a hell of a lot, and I just hope that maybe the next one isn't a massive big section. And if it is, it is. But I feel a lot less stressed than last year on two levels. One is I don't have to prove anything or finish anything on time.
Yeah.
And second
That's
of
it.
all, a lot of the stitches in the process are a lot more familiar, having gone through another one of his shawls in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things, like, I don't have to think about as much because I've practiced them on his way that he puts it together. My little silly,
Familiar with
stupid
his
way of
style
remembering
of
the
pattern.
style, yeah.
Stitches and
So my little silly way of remembering the left and the right, it's very crass, I'm sorry. L is for lips and R is for rear. Top and bottom, back, front, whatever you want to put in there. And it works for me, so you're welcome to use it.
Lips and bum.
Fantastic.
And rears.
That's a great one.
Ladies, I need to get going. It was nice to see you.
Bye,
guys.
Rox.
Nice
Bye,
to see
Roxy.
you.
Good
Good
Bye.
luck and enjoy.
Bye.
I'll give you a proper, I've got to the end of a row, so I'm just going to show you mine as well. It's similar sort of colors to Belinda's, although other way
Very
around.
nice.
So I'm using Cobalt and Air Force. And I
Oh,
do,
wow.
I did a little experiment to see how they work up when you break
Yes.
them, and it is going to
Yes.
be quite pretty. Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to see where does this fit in the design of the shawl. Are we working from the neck? Is that going to be the neck that we're working down from, or are we working from this and we're going to pick up somewhere? Or yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes with it.
Bridget, and Sue asked on, I think it was on the WhatsApp group, she said that there's like a little piece of extra string, but when you braid,
Yeah, I think it's this little
that
section.
then
those
pulls
loose
it
threads.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the little
if you
threads. Does
look-
that tighten it then?
If you look over here,
You can't see anything.
I don't know that it
Okay.
tightens it, but it tucks it underneath the braid. So when
Okay.
you put the braid in, it's not like
See
it's not like you can see
Okay,
these
so
loops.
we mustn't stress too much about that.
No.
No, definitely.
And on his video, you can see it on his video. He's also got a loosey gooseys there around
The
around
braid.
that section. So definitely
Okay.
not to be worried about.
The other
Okay.
part that's
Oh,
been
great.
bothering me a little bit is the one I called edge is nice and tight and neat, but the other edge with the SSK has got these loose stitches here, which I'm not really enjoying, and I don't know if that's just me or if other people have it as well. But then I also wondered if that then is a detail or something that he's going to use to pick up at some point I don't know, because it seemed like an onion. I suppose he's just creating the other half of the chevron on these side sections, so he needed the decrease to pull it in. But you know, because that then this, you needed this decrease over here to mirror this down over here, so that it's going up and then down up. But yeah, they're often little details that we notice as we're knitting, but that no one else will see once it's finished wearing it. So yeah.
Excellent.
Any other twists and turns? Comments?
Just bopping and jiving to Elvis Presley. That's the only twist and turn I'm doing.
Twist and shout is what I was doing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of twisting and a lot of shouting. Okay, awesome. I'm going to stop the video now.